What's going on everyone, and welcome back to another video. My name is Noman and today's analysis video is going to be about the La Liga game between Barcelona and Real Madrid. So Barcelona lined up in a 4-3-3 formation, which at time shifted to 3-4-3 with possession, with Rakitic dropping in the defense during the build-up phase. And they also had a formation of 4-4-2 without possession. While Real Madrid, on the other hand, lined up in a 4-4-2 formation on paper, but their formation on the ground was mostly 4-3-1-2, with Isco playing at the number 10 position just behind Benzema and Gareth Bale. Isco kept changing his position in this game from a number 10 to a wide winger, and thus Madrid also had a very flexible 4-3-1-2 or 4-3-3 formation. The start from Barcelona was not too bad, and they were easily able to build their play despite Real Madrid's high press. So during the build-up phase, the Barcelona centre-backs spread wide, and Rakitic dropped in between the two centre-backs. Isco was pressing Rakitic, with Bale and Benzema pressing the two wide centre-backs. The full-backs were pressing the two opposite full-backs, and similarly Kroos and Valverde were pressing Sergi Roberto and Frenkie de Jong. Barcelona's defense and their midfield were inviting the Real Madrid front and midfield lines to move up, and that was creating a space in the middle of the ground. Griezmann and Messi often dropped in that same space as Barcelona tried to use Ter Stegen's passing range to pick Suarez, who would often win the first ball, with Messi and Griezmann easily winning the second balls. Barcelona's defense and midfield are inviting Real Madrid's front and midfield lines to move up, and that has opened the space in the middle of the ground for Luis Suarez to drop in and receive the ball from Ter Stegen. Once again, space in the middle of the ground, Suarez drops to receive the pass from Ter Stegen and lays it off for Sergi Roberto. Casemiro once again left in a 1v2 position in the middle of the ground. Ter Stegen to Suarez, and Suarez one-touch pass to Sergi Roberto. Once again, Ter Stegen to Suarez, who once again drops in that same space in the middle of the ground. Suarez wins the first ball and lays it off in the path of Lionel Messi. Suarez wins the first ball and lays it off in the path of Messi. Real Madrid's pressing in this game was not compact, and this gap was there for Barcelona throughout the game. And the combination of Ter Stegen and Suarez did a very good job of exploiting this space time and time again. Real Madrid's pressing was not compact. There was always this gap available in the midfield for Barcelona to break Real Madrid's high press. Luis Suarez was not just creating issues for Real Madrid during the build-up phase, but his off-the-ball runs were creating all sorts of issues for Real Madrid in the offensive third. Luis Suarez often dropped in between the lines, and his deeper position often forced Varane to step out of his defensive line to cover Suarez. Suarez drops in between the lines, and he pulls Varane out of his defensive line and plays a first-time pass in the space for Griezmann. Varane was taken out by Suarez, and Griezmann immediately makes a run to exploit the space. Once again, Suarez drops in between the lines and he pulls Varane out, and this time Jordi Alba makes a run in the space. But just like Suarez, Benzema was also working really hard on the other side for Real Madrid. With possession, Benzema and Isco often moved to the wide areas as they tried to create overloads on the wide areas. We all know that Messi doesn't like to track back, and since Messi doesn't track back, so whenever Benzema and Isco moved to the wide areas, it forced the Barcelona midfielders to leave their positions and move to the wide areas to cover Isco and Benzema. As soon as Barcelona's midfielders moved to the wide areas, it gave Real Madrid the numbers advantage in the middle of the ground. 3v3 on the wide area, Bale was keeping the centre-backs engaged, Alba against Carvajal and Griezmann against Valverde, and that left Frenkie de Jong in a 1v2 position against Kroos and Casemiro. Benzema and Isco have moved to the wide areas, and that has forced Rakitic and Sergi Roberto to move wide. Kroos and Casemiro are now in a 2v1 position against Frenkie de Jong. Isco to Benzema and Benzema to Kroos. Griezmann is covering Carvajal and Alba is marking Valverde. Bale is keeping the centre-backs engaged, and that has left Frenkie de Jong in a 1v2 position against Kroos and Casemiro. A totally free shot for Casemiro, but Ter Stegen was able to deny the chance. Because of the wide positions of Benzema and Isco, Barcelona's midfielders were often forced to move out, And since Messi and Suarez don't normally drop back to help in the defense, so Casemiro and Kroos were enjoying lots of spaces in the midfield, and they were able to take free shots. And this is why 47% of Real Madrid's shots in this game were taken from outside the box, as Real Madrid's midfielders were enjoying lots of space and time on the ball. And as we can see from this image, Barcelona also had 2v2 on the break with Messi and Luis Suarez. But they couldn't take any advantage from this 2v2 position, as running behind the defense is not one of Lionel Messi's biggest strengths. And also, Real Madrid's counter-press and tactical fouls also made it very difficult for Barcelona to catch Madrid on transitions. Real Madrid committed 17 fouls in this game compared to Barcelona's 5, and this is why Barcelona could not take any advantage from this 2v2 position. Benzema was constantly making these wide runs, especially on transitions, as he was trying to pull the Barcelona centre-backs wide to create the space centrally for the runs of Isco. Both the Barcelona fullbacks are caught out of their positions on transition. Benzema moves to the wide area and he pulls Piqué out of his defensive line, and that has left Langley in a 1v2 position against Isco and Gareth Bale. Piqué steps out to cover Benzema, and Langley is now left in a 1v2 position against Isco and Gareth Bale. Isco takes away Langley, and Bale is now totally free to run in the space, and it all started from Benzema's wide position to pull Piqué out on transition. This time Benzema takes out Langley and opens a space centrally for Gareth Bale. A simple flick in the path of Gareth Bale. Once again, Benzema moves to the wide area on transition and pulls Piqué out. Piqué steps out and Isco immediately makes the run in that central space. Piqué was taken out by Benzema and Isco makes a free run with Gareth Bale coming to support the counter-attack from the other side. Benzema kept making these wide runs throughout the game, and his wide position often created gaps centrally for the runs of Isco and Gareth Bale. Since Barcelona often had a 2v2 situation on the breaks with Messi and Luis Suarez up against Ramos and Varane, so in the last 10 minutes of the game, Real Madrid decided to change their formation to a back 3, which was more like 3-3-4. Real Madrid changing their formation to back 3, Mendy is now staying back, while Carvajal is moving up to provide the attacking width on the right flank, with Rodrigo on the left flank. Gareth Bale has moved to the central zone with Benzema up front. And with the back 3, Real Madrid now had 3v2 on transition against Messi and Luis Suarez, which gave them more defensive production against Messi and Suarez. Real Madrid definitely had the better plan for this game, and they looked more dominant throughout the game. The only issue for Real Madrid was the gap in the midfield during the pressing phase. While for Barcelona, they definitely need to come up with a better plan, as they were mostly relying on individual brilliance than teamwork. Thank you so much guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.